audiobook vision. Today, we're diving the devil's effect, how good people turn evil. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to become part of our growing community. Let's get started. Introduction. Unveiling the devil's effect. In the intricate tapestry of human existence, there lies an eternal struggle between the forces of light and shadow, good and evil. This perpetual conflict is not merely an abstract concept, it is a fundamental aspect of what it means to be human. Within each heart, an unseen battle rages, often concealed beneath a facade of morality and virtue. The desire to perceive ourselves as principled beings, champions of ethical values, and steadfast protectors of what is right is a deeply entrenched aspect of our self-identity. We take pride in the notion that we would never drift into the abyss of darkness, that we could never be complicit in malevolent acts. However, history paints a contrasting picture. The profound atrocities that have marred our collective past, the Holocaust, brutal acts of terrorism, systemic abuse of power, stand as grim reminders that, when placed in certain dire contexts, even the most seemingly virtuous individuals can engage in profoundly immoral actions. This unsettling reality gives rise to a concept we term the devil's effect, which succinctly captures the psychological dynamics that can compel ordinary people to relinquish their moral bearings and spiral into acts of unspeakable evil. In this exploration titled, The Devil's Effect, How Good People Turn Evil, we aim to dissect the complex interplay of societal, psychological, and personal influences that can erode our moral fabric. Our intent transcends mere comprehension, it seeks to uncover the latent triggers that may lie dormant within the recesses of our psyche. By delving into these hidden forces, we gain valuable insight into our own vulnerabilities, ultimately illuminating pathways towards self-awareness, resilience, and even redemption. Researchers in psychology and sociology have meticulously examined the darker aspects of human behavior for decades, often unveiling alarming truths that compel us to reassess our understanding of morality. It is a sobering realization that we are all susceptible to various forms of manipulation and influence, more so than we might be comfortable admitting. This awareness confronts our self-image, challenging the very foundation of our morals, values.
Want to become a certified project manager but aren't sure about the skills you need? The PMP certification prep course on Udemy is just the thing. Learn the basics of project management and get yourself ready for the PMP certification exam. With anytime access on mobile or desktop, you can plan your learning around your life. So grab this course and learn on.
Meet Dialpad AI Sales, a new way to sell with real-time intelligence that empowers your sales team at every step. Reach customers and prospects in a click from LinkedIn, Salesforce, Outreach, or the app. Plus, our built-in AI assistant is here to help. During calls, it recognizes keywords and surfaces relevant info. This can include pricing, competitive insights, and more. Managers can also customize these real-time recommendations to help with objection handling. While on the call, view the latest Salesforce activity tied to the contact you're chatting with. No app switching required. You can also log calls and set call dispositions, all in the same place. When a prospect isn't picking up, pre-record a voicemail message and share it in a click. Dialpad AI also creates automatic call summaries, search transcripts, play recordings, and add notes. Plus, it's easy to coach your sales teams from anywhere. As a manager, use QA scorecards to guide sellers right after every call. You can also create custom coaching groups to monitor team performance in real time, track call sentiment, and view live transcripts to see if anyone needs support. Bring all your sales conversations into one AI-powered customer intelligence platform so your teams can close deals faster.
and beliefs. We must ask ourselves, are we truly as principled as we have come to believe, or are our ethical standards merely self-constructed paper walls, easily dismantled by the right circumstances and external pressures? In the pages that follow, we embark on an enlightening journey through the psychological mechanisms that fuel the devil's effect. We will scrutinize pivotal studies, including Stanley Milgram's obedience experiment and Philip Zimbardo's Stanford prison experiment, alongside other groundbreaking research in the field of social psychology. As we explore these critical concepts, we will poignantly recognize how effortlessly good people can become unwitting participants in wrongdoing, influenced by forces that often operate below the level of conscious awareness. Each chapter of this book delves into a distinctive facet of this moral descent. We will examine the initial waves of self-doubt that often precede wrongdoing, the subtle yet potent silent encouragement we receive from those around us, the seductive power of authority that can blind us to our own misgivings, and ultimately, the tipping points that can drive us beyond the precipice into darkness. By carefully analyzing each of these stages, the devil's effect not only elucidates the mechanisms behind the transformation of individuals into agents of evil but also equips us with the crucial tools necessary to recognize these patterns within ourselves and resist them. Understanding and confronting the darkness that lurks within us all is the critical first step toward ensuring that we do not fall prey to it. The overarching goal of this discourse is not to instill trepidation or despair, but rather to ignite a sense of awareness and vigilance. It is only through acknowledging our inherent potential for darkness that we can foster the resilience necessary to stand defiantly against it. Therefore, we invite you on this thought-provoking expedition, as we uncover the multifaceted nature of the devil's effect. In doing so, we strive to fortify our moral fortitude and enrich our understanding of the delicate balance between good and evil that resides within us all. Chapter 1. The descent begins, understanding the devil's effect. The whisper in the shadows. The devil's effect subtly infiltrates the very core of our moral beliefs, but it is not a dramatic upheaval that strikes with sudden force. Rather, it is a gradual, almost imperceptible deterioration of our principles, a slow dance with temptation that leads us to questionable choices and actions. Imagine for a moment a serene stream, its crystalline waters flowing gently over rugged stones. At first glance, the interaction appears harmless, the water sparkles in the sunlight, and the stones seem to withstand the light caress of the current. However, with the passage of time, that unrelenting flow of water begins to wear away even the most solid rock, reshaping it fundamentally. The devil's effect unfolds in much the same way. It operates quietly and with an almost artistic finesse, reshaping our ethical landscape without us even realizing it.
Watch me walk away, putting myself on display. 1, 2, 3 a day. I'm on my way, on my way. I'ma have you on tiptoes, watching my diamond afterglow. I know you wanna take me home. I'm on my way, on my way.
This insidious phenomenon is not characterized by brute force or aggressive confrontation. Instead, it thrives on persuasion, weaving a narrative that appears entirely rational and justified. It doesn't demand our compliance, instead, it woos us into submission. It creates an atmosphere that feels inviting and warm, lulling us into a false sense of security as we navigate the murky waters of moral ambiguity. At its inception, the devil's effect manifests itself as a soft whisper, an internal dialogue that often masquerades as innocent reasoning. It begins with benign-sounding thoughts, such as, just this once, a tantalizing invitation to bend the rules ever so slightly. This phrase, cloaked in the guise of moderation, tempts us to dismiss our better judgment for a fleeting moment of indulgence. Next comes the thought, it's not that big of a deal. In this moment of rationalization, we find ourselves trivializing potential consequences, paving the way for a slippery slope that can lead to greater compromises down the line. And then there's the refrain, everyone does it, a common justification that conjures a sense of camaraderie among wrongdoers, reinforcing the notion that our actions are not only acceptable but commonplace. These seemingly harmless thoughts, innocuous in their initial appearance, are the harbingers of compromise. They represent the first delicate strokes on a canvas that, over time, will evolve into a vivid portrayal of moral disintegration. Each whisper serves as a brushstroke, painting our hearts and minds with shades of gray where once there was clarity. With every small concession, our boundaries weaken, and the line between right and wrong becomes increasingly blurred. In the end, what began as a gentle coaxing can lead to a profound transformation of self. The metamorphosis is gradual, often unnoticed until we find ourselves far removed from the ideals we once held dear. The stream of rationalization flows continuously, and before long, we may look up to find that we have drifted far from the shores of our original convictions, swept away by the current of our own justifications. In the shadows lurks the true danger of the devil's effect, reminding us to remain vigilant against the whispers that, while seemingly harmless, can lead even the strongest among us into a subtle spiral of moral decay. Small choices, big consequences. At its core, the concept known as the devil's effect delves deeply into the profound power held by our seemingly insignificant daily choices. Human cognition, intricately wired for the sake of efficiency, often leads us to minimize the importance of individual actions. We may justify a small lie told to sidestep an uncomfortable confrontation or dismiss the consequences of a minor shortcut taken in order to meet an impending deadline. These choices, easy to dismiss as practical decisions aimed at navigating life's complexities, can deceptively cloak themselves in an illusion of harmlessness, rather than being recognized for the moral implications they may carry. However, as time progresses, the weight of these seemingly trivial decisions accumulates, like tiny grains of sand that, over time, can shift the course of a river. Each choice, with its own subtle influence, gradually shapes and adjusts our internal moral compass, often without us even realizing it. To illustrate this concept more vividly, consider the metaphor of a ship embarking on a journey across the vast ocean. When setting sail, a small 1-degree deviation from the intended course may not seem significant in the initial moments of the journey. It might appear that the ship is still headed in the right direction, or that the difference is too minute to matter. However, as the ship continues to navigate miles and miles of open water, that slight misalignment from its true course will inevitably lead it to a destination that is profoundly distant from where it originally intended to arrive. The journey becomes a metaphor for our life choices. Each small compromise we make acts as a degree of deviation, gently but persistently steering us toward outcomes and life paths that we never envisioned and may not desire. In a world that constantly emphasizes the big decisions, those monumental life choices that feel inherently consequential, it is all too easy to overlook the quieter, less dramatic decisions that shape our character and future. Yet, it is precisely these small choices that accumulate and form the backbone of our moral framework. Each little decision we opt for, whether it's being slightly dishonest in a conversation or opting for ease over diligence in our work, may appear inconsequential in isolation. Yet, when viewed through the lens of time and reflection, their cumulative effect can transform our beliefs, ethics, and ultimately, our life trajectories. In recognizing the stealthy power of these minor actions, we are compelled to reconsider how we navigate the intricate landscape of our daily lives, setting our compass towards a course that aligns with our true values and long-term aspirations. The devil's effect serves as a critical reminder that in the grand tapestry of our existence, it is often the smallest threads that weave the most significant patterns. The role of cognitive biases in decision-making. Human beings generally pride themselves on being rational creatures, relying on logic and careful reasoning when faced with choices and dilemmas. We like to think of ourselves as objective thinkers who weigh pros and cons systematically before arriving at decisions. However, the reality is more complex. Our choices are frequently influenced by cognitive biases, innate mental shortcuts developed through evolution that assist us in processing the overwhelming amount of information we encounter daily. While these biases can be beneficial for navigating intricate situations, lead us down misguided paths, impacting our judgments and actions in significant ways. One particularly insidious manifestation of cognitive bias is what is commonly referred to as the devil's effect. This phenomenon thrives on our inherent biases, leveraging them to manipulate our perceptions and behaviors to a detrimental degree. The devil's effect can distort reality, making it easier to rationalize immoral or unethical choices by tapping into the biases that permeate our thinking. Confirmation bias, seeing what we want to believe. Among the various cognitive biases, confirmation bias stands out as particularly potent and arguably the most treacherous ally of the devil's effect. This psychological tendency causes individuals to seek out, interpret, and remember information in a way that confirms their pre-existing beliefs or decisions, while simultaneously disregarding or minimizing evidence that contradicts those views. Once a decision has been made, confirmation bias floods the mind with an array of justifications that validate it, reinforcing the original choice and further blinding individuals to opposing evidence. For example, consider a person who makes the decision to pocket a small sum of money from a cash register. Rather than feel guilt or remorse for the act of theft, this individual may engage in confirmation bias by concentrating on factors that make the act seem acceptable, such as feeling underpaid at their job or convincing themselves that the company can afford the loss. In doing so, the individual's mind quickly downplays the true consequences of their actions, allowing them to rationalize stealing and move forward without the burden of guilt or ethical conflict. This self-reinforcing loop created by confirmation bias is not merely a minor quirk of human thought, it establishes a dangerous trajectory that can lead to increasingly severe misconduct. As individuals become more entrenched in their flawed rationalizations, they may find themselves entangled in a cycle of unethical behavior, where one small transgression builds upon another. Over time, the original act may not only be justified but even normalized in the individual's psyche, making it far more likely that they will engage in even greater transgressions in the future. In essence, cognitive biases like confirmation bias significantly shape our decision-making processes. They dictate how we interpret experiences and information, often leading us to reinforce our existing beliefs at the expense of logic or ethical standards. Understanding the mechanics of these biases is crucial, as awareness can empower us to challenge our thought processes, break free from self-deceptive cycles, and strive towards more rational and principled decision-making. Recognizing the influence of cognitive biases can help us cultivate a mindset that prioritizes truth over comfort, encouraging more ethical and considered choices in our lives. Incrementalism, the stepping stones to corruption. Incrementalism represents a subtle yet powerful psychological trap that can lead individuals down a slippery slope of moral compromise. This concept revolves around the belief that small, seemingly harmless actions can pave the way for more significant, unethical decisions over time. At first glance, these minor infractions appear negligible, leading individuals to feel justified in their actions. However, the cumulative effect can be profound and dangerous. A classic illustration of this phenomenon is found in the infamous Milgram experiment, which was conducted in the 1960s by psychologist Stanley Milgram. In this controversial study, participants were asked to administer electric shocks to a learner, who was actually an actor, as part of a supposed learning experiment. The shocks started at a low voltage, levels that participants could easily rationalize as harmless. The initial step was framed in a way that made it easy for participants to agree to, as they were told it was important for scientific research. However, as the experiment progressed, the voltage gradually increased, leading participants to administer shocks that they might have deemed unacceptable at the beginning. Shockingly, many continued to comply with instructions, even when the shocks reached levels that could cause serious harm. This gradual escalation of commitment showcased how individuals could become desensitized to the moral implications of their actions. This phenomenon underscores an essential truth about human behavior: minor deviations from ethical standards can accumulate over time, creating a distorted sense of normality surrounding negative behavior. Each small compromise reinforces the previous one, creating a precarious ladder of ethical decline. What starts as a small lie or a minor unethical choice can morph into a series of decisions that drastically diverge from one's original moral code. Before long, individuals may find themselves engaging in actions that they would have initially condemned as entirely unacceptable, completely oblivious to how far they have strayed from their principles.
This one kind of bored me. This one kind of bored me. I remember listening to this one while I was falling asleep. All right, we're going to get into this show. First thing first, somebody put that Trump celebrated that Joy Reid was canceled. So we're getting into all the news, all right? I didn't even put this inside the bullet points, but this is going to be added into much more. We're going to also get into people who are against Jaz Crocket saying to not hand out the money. I can't even find a video of her saying it. So I guess they're going to play the video. So maybe it's best for me to play it. So we're going to start with Joy Reid. The Trump celebrates this. Fair use. He celebrates it. That's a little crazy, right? Let's go. Hold on, y'all. I gotta redo the audio. I don't know why that happens when I take out the microphone, but it happens. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Make sure we got the right joint. All right, let's go.
Is their spot on cable TV. MSNBC shaking up their lineup, canceling liberal firebrand Joy Reid's primetime show, The Readout.
The Republican Party has made it clear they're not mad at the whole Nazi thing.
Reid frequently criticized for controversial statements made on TV and social media.
Let me know who I got to vote for to keep Hitler out the White House. If it's Biden in a coma, I'm going to vote for Biden in a coma. So in other words, reparations for white people.
President Trump, a frequent target of Reid, celebrating her demise on Truth Social, writing they'd finally gotten up the nerve to fire one of the least talented people in television, the mentally obnoxious, racist Joy Reid, claiming the network should pay restitutions for the damage they've done to the country. Trump also using the post to take jabs at other hosts, including Alex Wagner, who lost her spot, as well as Rachel Maddow and Al Sharpton. Allies coming to Reid's defense. Elie Mystal saying he and other Black voices owe their TV careers in part to Reid, giving them a platform, claiming that's why she's gone. They can treat Black folks as interchangeable, but everybody Black knows that Joy was indispensable. This as Trump continues his near-decade
And there goes his dark psychology.
long contentious relationship with much of the mainstream media. This past December, Trump securing a $15 million settlement from ABC News and a note of regret in a defamation case involving George Stephanopoulos. Trump also suing CBS and their owner Paramount, claiming deceptive editing of Kamala Harris's 60 Minutes interview before the election.
The work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements.
CBS releasing the unedited transcripts and clips earlier this month to prove nothing unethical was done.
Trump also at odds with the Associated Press over their refusal to refer to the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America per his executive order. The White House revoking AP reporters access to briefings over the issue. In Washington, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
You know, I read his executive orders.
Halsey, live on tour for my last.
What the fuck is this? Halsey. Okay, so I read his executive orders. And I think I did read him say that the Gulf of Mexico will become the Gulf of America. I think that was in his executive order. You can see this video is 20 minutes, but we always enjoy a good time. Okay, what is this? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and rock this out because I do want to hear what Jasmine says. Okay. Is there anything... On high alert, Trump declares emergency. Trump speech live. President Trump declares national emergency to USA. A national emergency to the USA. Hold on.
That you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor.
Okay, I don't know why they keep playing that. I have not a clue why that keeps being played. All right, let's go ahead and get to this.
I realize that these career politicians do not have their best interests. Case in point, Jaz Crocket. For 4 years, I have not heard a peep out of that woman. Now, all of a sudden, she got so much to say about what Trump is doing to try to make America great again, standing on his words, being a man that she probably wished she really had. And the thing about it is, I didn't hear her not one time complain or stop the reckless spending that Harris and Biden was doing this last administration, which means that she was in cahoots with them. She is complicit with the money laundering that these people have been doing because she benefits from it. She gets to buy all of the wigs and lashes and makeup that she want to buy. Meanwhile, people out here can barely afford to put food on the table. You got a homeless crisis out here. You got people that can barely afford to pay their rent. But yeah, you sitting up here trying to go against what Trump is doing to ensure that we as American people can afford to live in this country. How dare you? I think you need to be investigated next. Since you got such a strong throat chakra for expressing your sentiments towards what Trump doing, I think we all need to get a magnifying glass and start paying attention to what you doing, because your ass is next. Ms. Crocket.
What's up, taters? This is Tree from treeoflogic.com, and today we are going to talk about my least favorite person on the demon rat side, which is Jaz Crocket, who I like to call Jasmine Ratchet. She was on ABC Live a few days ago, talking out of both ends of her mouth. Days before this interview on ABC Live News, she was pushing for reparations, but then switched it up by telling the anchor woman that the government is not in the business of giving out money. What? The audacity. And this is why the demon rats, aka the Democrats, lost both the House and the Senate, in addition to Donald Trump winning both the popular vote as well as the electoral vote. The American people have had enough of their foolishness. The Dems are hypocrites, race hustlers, and just plain old corrupt. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time ranting about her because I have clips of people doing it for me. But before we see what they have to say, let me show you how all of this got started.
Now, President Trump says he likes the idea of giving some of the savings from Doge back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
Listen, he's just telling a lie. He's not the one that had anything to do with the $1,200 refunds that people had during the midst of COVID that was done by a Democratic House and Democratic Senate. Right now, what they're going to do is say, hey, we want to give you a refund, but Congress won't let us, because they already know that there's just no money for that. The only reason that those refunds came before was because we were living in different times. This was a time in which hopefully we won't ever go through again. We had a once in a lifetime pandemic. The bad part is that I don't know if it's once in a lifetime, because we know that Ebola, unfortunately, was detected right here in New York here recently. And if we continue down this road of getting rid of scientists or deciding that we don't want to rely on experts as it relates to what they're telling us to do, or we don't want to deal with vaccines and medicine in this country, then we may be facing not only our next pandemic, but our next 2, 3, or 4 pandemics because of their incompetence. So no, we are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
Jaz Crocket, bring your goofy ass up here, because you got the nerve to go on TV and say that the United States is not in the business of handing out money, but the USAID was handing out money nonstop. It's okay when y'all do it, but when Trump do it, it's a problem. And then there's another bone to pick with you. Come on, ghetto Jasmine. Bring your ass to the front of the congregation once again. All right. You got the nerve to really throw out in the world the Ebola virus, 1 case in New York, 1 case. Watch the fear mongering, people. This is what they do. They're planting the seeds early. Pay attention to what they're saying. Anaya Presley went up there and told us she wants somebody to help censor the American people. And the sheep are okay with that. You see them out there protesting, oh, what side you on? They doing all this, but at the end of the day, you really have to pay attention. These people are planning something big, and they're planning something big because they lost big, and I love it. I got to get my cup for some liberal tears, but what y'all doing is crazy. The interpretation.
Selling. People pay me $100,000 a day to consult for them, and they come to my offices. They always want to Russell, my funnel's not working. What's wrong? And it's always one of three things: it's either the hook, the story, or the offer every time. So there's a $100,000 consulting.
We are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
Too much into this. Let me clear a few things up. The number of the $5,000 stimmy checks that we're going to be getting from Dodge, that number was kind of just made up. It's not verified. Elon Musk has kind of shot it down. Nobody is getting a $5,000 check. They're talking about now doing a certain percentage of what Doge finds. Something is probably going to be coming, and it's not going to be like the stimulus checks you got that she keeps talking about. Secondly, I understand that I live a much different life than Queen Jasmine Crockett, but what could $5,000 do for me? Well, I'd love to tell you. I could do 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's just call it an even grand. That's 5 months of groceries for my household of 4. $5,000, a one-time check would pay off 2 of our cars right now, freeing up $520 a month extra that we could have in our pocket. $5,000 would be a lifesaver for a lot of people. It may not be a life changer. It may not be a game changer for a lot of people, but on a month-to-month basis, it would definitely ease things up. So young lady, I don't know what in the hell you're even talking about. $5,000 might not be a lot to you. $5,000 could definitely help out the majority of Americans right now. I'm going to need you to take several fucking seats, Ms. Crockett.
How long are y'all going to go hard for Jasmine Crockett? She's not for you. She's not for the people. She's putting on a show, and she's lining her pockets. If she actually really cared about the people, she would be going for more money. Instead of saying that the United States government isn't in the business of handing out money, even though they're giving it to men who sleep with other men in South Africa, even though they're giving it to Ukraine by the billions, even though 100 billion of that money is missing, even though they're giving it to all of these migrants who have come in and have not paid into this system at all, even though they're giving the money to obviously these lawmakers who are compounding their money exponentially by the year. Jasmine Crockett is saying that America is not in the business of giving money to its citizens. What? But she could be fighting for us to be getting more money. The argument could have been, instead of 20% of the savings going back to the American people, why is it not 50% of the savings going back to the American people? Why is it not 70% of the savings going back to the American people? No, that was not her argument. She said, what can $5,000 do? And she said, they're not in the business of giving us money. $5,000 could do a whole lot for a whole lot of people, actually. $5,000 could do a lot for me. I know that. That's helping somebody get out of credit card debt. That's 6 months of somebody's car payment. That's childcare. That's groceries. That's repairs around the house. That's healthcare and medical bills. $5,000 can actually be pretty life-changing for the average American, but Jasmine Crockett is not the average American, nor does she care about the average American.
We are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
What? You mean to tell me you ain't in the business of giving away money? What the is the immigration? What the
It's the yelling for me.
is the immigrants? Huh? You don't give away money. What is USAID? What is that? What is that? Huh? You don't give away no fucking money. These people are crazy. This is a clown world we live in. Am I retarded? Am I the one slow? Because you can't make me believe I didn't hear them people say they was gonna give away $25,000 to new people to get houses. You can't make me believe that. That sounds like giving away some money, Jasmine. That sounds like we're giving away Jasmine Crockett. You stupid back. Take the dumbass wig off. Take the wig off.
The structure motorized pergola system is reinventing the way homeowners experience the outdoors. The most versatile modern use.
Is it me? But I have been getting a lot of American ads in commercial on my channel. Why has that been happening? You got the Buck Mason guy with the very beautiful t-shirts that I've been eyeing. You got the people who was doing the lawn with doing the soil as well with the lawn, the two guys. And now you got this. Why is this
Full
happening?
outdoor patio space ever designed. It creates the perfect.
Jasmine Crocket says, we're not in the business of giving out money. Somebody needs to loosen up her lace front wig. All the left does is give out money. They just give it to everyone except the people who actually earned it. Foreign governments get billions. Wall Street gets bailed out. Non-profits run by their donors get unlimited grants. Some activist professor just got $1 million research fund to study the emotional impact of misgendering houseplants. But when it's time to cut a check with your name on it, suddenly they transform into budget hawks. The left treats your paycheck like their personal piggy bank. The money flows up, out, and overseas. Every reckless program, every bloated spending bill, every handout to their pet causes gets rubber stamped without hesitation. Democrats have spent years handing out cash like it's monopoly money, just never to you. Jasmine Crocket must have lost her hand-clapping, side-eyeing, neck-rolling, lip-smacking mind. The left will bankrupt the entire country for their agenda, but they'll never let you have a single dollar that isn't tied to government dependence.
I just don't understand Democrat insanity. I just don't understand, y'all. I don't understand. So now ghetto rep, Walmart rep, Jasmine Crocket just said, because you know Trump and Elon are talking about giving out $5,000 as a refund, 20% refund for all the money they stole from us Americans. We deserve it. We need it. We just got out of a 4-year oppression of Joe Biden. She had the nerve to say, we don't give out money. We're not in the business of giving out money. Can you believe this Democrat said that? But all the billions you've given to Ukraine, all the billions you've given, this is why I don't know how any of y'all can vote for this insane party. She said, we're not in a business, but you're paying for Sesame Street sex changes in Guatemala. You just don't care about Americans. There's no way Jasmine Crocket had the audacity to say we're not in the business of handing out money, but at the same time, the Democrats
I hear a New York accent.
are handing out all the money. Oh my God, I'm so angry behind that. How are you gonna have the nerve to go on TV and say that? Y'all not in the business of handing out money, but y'all gave all the money away during that administration. Please make this make sense. I don't know. I'm convinced they're free falling. They're out of control. This is out of control. Well, first and foremost, the other bald-headed black lady that came up there, what was her name? Anaya Presley, gonna tell everybody she want to censor the American people. And y'all okay with this? I'm done. I'm out of here, man. It was so real. I had to double back because it pissed me off so bad.
So I was just sitting here scrolling on TikTok, minding my business, and I seen something with House Representative Jasmine Crocket. She thinks that Americans don't need the $5,000. How out of touch are you, sweetie? You don't think the American people deserve $5,000 of their own money? This is not a gift from the government. Our money made the government. In fact, you wouldn't be sitting in the position you're in right now without our tax dollars rolling through this government.
Well, there is a point here. Because if you're on Section 8, how far is that 5,000 going to hold you down if Section 8 is cut off? If you get any type of housing paid assistance, which I think that is Section 8, right? How far is that 5,000 going to help you? If you have to pay car insurance, how far is that 5,000 going to help you? Rent, how far is that 5,000 going to help you? As opposed to if you have the Section 8 help, the social service help consistently, as long as you have the consistent paperwork, as opposed to if you have the food stamp help consistently, as long as you have the proper paperwork, would you not benefit more from that? That's what I feel, Jazz. That's what I sense Jasmine is coming from.
So please stop speaking on what you think American people need.
So Jasmine Crocket said today, Representative Jasmine Crocket said that Americans do not need $5,000. In fact, she doesn't even know what you will do with it. This just goes to show how disconnected the Democrats are from the American people.
And Jasmine Crocket, I want you to shut the up with your big wig wearing ass. Cause what the is you talk about? Y'all ain't in the business of handing out money. Ain't you the same motherfucker that was fighting so hard for reparations? Huh? Oh, but you ain't in the business of giving out money. Oh, you don't got so high class now you talking about something. What will five?
Well, you know what? You notice the black males are bashing on her because they voted for Trump. They voted for this.
$5,000 do
because they needed more.
$5,000 to do a motherfucking lot. You must forgot all of us ain't taking money from the American people like you. Cause how the your salary $174,000 a year, and all of a sudden your black ass worth $9 million.
Okay, so I mean, I'm really trying to see how it's going to stretch unless somebody's going to take it into a business and flip it. I mean, definitely you don't even have to flip the whole 5K to flip money on that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. It depends on what you're going to do with that 5K.
Please tell me what the going on. What you investing in? Because it ain't wigs. Not the way your sitting on top of your head need to be deflated. Your big ass holiday heart, you big holiday heart wearing wig, mother. And you been stealing money from the American people, and now you talking about something. You ain't got no job. Oh, back to the job and Bidenomics. Y'all the reason it ain't no job. Y'all talking about some y'all created 13 million jobs, but come to find out them 13 million jobs, 82% of them jobs is just jobs that reopened after the pandemic. So y'all ain't created a mother thing. The you talking about? You just mad they in your too, and they gonna know how to where the that 9 million came from. Talking about y'all ain't in the business of giving out money. Duh, cause y'all done gave it all out. The y'all ain't in the business of giving out money to us, but y'all will give it to them Ukraine mother with the Steven ass. I'm tired of this.
When I started working for Buck Mason, they told me, we want to build the perfect t-shirt with the best fabric.
There you go.
To the point that I've never seen before.
Jasmine Crocket is on the losing side in this. If she wants to argue with Trump about different things, rebate checks are not the thing to argue with Trump about. So this woman actually went on TV talking about how she is against Donald Trump potentially giving $5,000 rebate checks to every American family. She even went on to say, what is $5,000 going to do for you? I don't know what $5,000 is supposed to do for you. And then she went on to say that we're not in the business of giving out money. So you mean to tell me that the American taxpayer dollar can be sent to countries and organizations and people all over the world without our consent? But when it comes to Americans actually receiving a small fraction of those taxpayer dollars back in the forms of a $5,000 rebate check, your response is, we're not in the business of giving out money. People in your district elected you to serve their interests. You're not in the business of giving money back to them and helping put money back in their pocket. But you are in the business of funding migrants, staying in luxury hotels in New York City. You are in the business of making sure that our tax dollars go to different countries all over the world so we can fund transgender sex change operations. You're okay with that. But when asked about a rebate check, a small rebate check of $5,000, you say, we're not in the business of handing out money. Y'all know.
Okay, I'm tired of everybody yelling. I got the information for you right here. Okay, it says right here you have to be a U.S. citizen to qualify for the 2025 stimulus check. You must be certain income requirements and file a tax return by April 15th, 2025. Okay, let's read on. It says here that be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, not claimed as a dependent on another taxpayer's return. You have to file your own tax return. Have an adjusted gross income of 75,000 or less for single filers, or 150,000 or less for married couples filing jointly. Okay, so if you make 150,000 or more a year as a married couple, you would not qualify. File requirements: file a tax return and claim the recovery rebate credit by April 15, 2025. Okay, so you claim this as you do your tax returns. This applies even if you had minimal or no income from a job, business, or other sources. So even if you have not worked, okay, you can still. How to get the payment? The IRS will automatically send payments to eligible taxpayers. Payments will be either automatically direct deposit or sent by paper check. Eligible taxpayers will receive a letter notifying them of the payment. Check the status of your payment. You can check the status of your stimulus check on IRS Get My Payment website. Now, this is 2025, okay? So IRS Get My Payment website. Let's go here. Okay, you see it? All right, so here is the link for everybody. So you have to, let's go back to what it said, because there's something key here. Why the fuck does it say get my payment coronavirus? Why does it say that? Hold on. Okay, 24. Latest news, recovery, rebate, credits, how to claim missing payment. Okay. This is, okay, let's go back so you won't get misconstrued with my information, because I see fucking coronavirus. But let's just look. Because it states right here. Oh, I gotta go back. Hold on. Oh, come on. Okay. It says right here, which is very key. When you file your tax return, claim the recovery rebate credit by April 15, 2025. So whatever you file your tax return before this date, this week, especially if you filed your tax return early, because it's supposed to come this week, as it said. If you can go back into your paperwork and say, claim the recovery rebate credits. Okay. So you can, I guess that's supposed to be if you didn't receive it, but I still say click that button. Still try to go back and do it anyway, because that's what it's looking like. Let's go. Could stimulus check really happen? Here's what we know. Oh, hey, I think it'll be a beautiful thing. I don't see the problem. For especially those who wants to save, invest into a business, or to save your money, or just to have that extra cushion money for yourself. I say, hey, why not? You know what I'm saying? Because it's supposed to be between 5,000 to 8,000, but we're gonna go ahead and watch and listen to all these people go in on Jasmine.
Know who this is? If you don't know, let me introduce her to you. This is Jaz Crocket. She's on the other side. She is against Trump sending Americans a $5,000 check. She stated we don't need it. Now, this coming from the woman who makes $174,000 a year. She owns stocks in MGM Resorts, Moderna, Devon Company, and her net worth is $9 million. You see, that other party, they want everybody else at the bottom while they're the only ones at the top. They don't want to.
This lady always showing up. I don't know who she is, because it's her voice I remember. She reminds me of my cousin. All of us talk like that, with that rasp in our voice. So I think y'all being a little too hard on Jasmine. I do. I think y'all being a little too hard on Jazzy. I feel like she's looking at the bigger picture. She's looking at the long game of everything. If you get this 5, what happens next? What are you really going to do with that? How are you still going to sustain yourself? Because yes, you can get your tax return and stuff, but your tax return could be gone in a week depending how you spend it. This woman is worth $9 million. She's coming from the perspective of someone who knows how to handle her own money. Y'all keep going on and on about how much she's worth, but somebody who has money like that, yeah, she's trying to help you understand how are you going to stretch this money a long way and what's going to come with receiving this money. See, I would take the money because I got plans, but I'm saying for the rest of you, Dragon Jasmine, goddamn.
Spread the wealth out. They want to hoard it to themselves. And y'all got a problem with President Trump and the Dream Team, but these are the people you endorse. These people don't want to see you with nothing. They want it all for themselves. Jasmine Crocket is the hater of today. But I get called all kind of names in my comments because I'm black and I support Trump. But this the person y'all endorsing, her, the hater that don't want to see you with nothing. That's crazy. That is crazy, going against yourself for a party that don't care about you.
Like, bro, I want that 5K. I know is rich and got all the money in the world and don't care about you and don't care about me, but I need that 5. And it's crazy. I don't know what $5,000 would do for you. I don't know. Pay credit cards, food. Some people may need it for rent. Pay off your car notes. I mean, there's tons of things we could do with the 5K. Y'all was just giving all the immigrants and everybody in the world free money. And when it comes to us, hold up, wait. No. We can't give you that $5,000. Like, that's crazy. But these are the kind of people you guys are.
But the immigrants were still getting more money than you. The immigrants were still getting more money than you.
So
we are not in the business of giving out money. Honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
Jasmine, baby girl, I have a really serious question for you. How is you cool? Do you mean you don't know what Americans is gonna do with $5,000? The do you mean they ain't in the business of giving away money? You know how much money you gave away to Ukraine? Do you know how much money you gave away to the migrants? You are the reasons why Americans don't care about migrants anymore. Because y'all was giving them all our goddamn money. I'm sorry, man. I've been trying to stop raising my voice so much. I've been trying to be more stoic. But Jasmine, baby, you got me up $150,000, $200,000 a year salary. But you got a net worth of $7 million. Properties and all over the place with your stealing and embezzling ass. I don't know what the average American is gonna do with $5,000. What? We don't give away no money. Shut up. Y'all told them immigrants you was gonna give them $25,000 to buy a house. Now maybe I'm slow, but that sounds like you're giving away some goddamn money. Jasmine.
There you go, taters. Okay, that last one was good. I saved the best for last, all right? Anyway, let me know what you think because I agree with everything that everyone said here. But then again, I never liked Jasmine. It was like she was quiet, and then all of a sudden she started getting ghetto. She started getting loud. She started getting ratchet. And I think that's when she went from $100,000 a year income to millions, all right? So as her income increased, the ghetto-ness started to increase. The
I would hate that anybody knows how much money I have. That's not right.
ratchetness started to increase. And she thinks that just because she's loud in Congress, that means she's right. And that is not the case. Anyway, I can go on and on about this heifer. Trust me, I'm going to make more videos about her. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. So add this to video, probably number 4 I made about Jasmine Crocket. Anyway, let me know what you think about this ghetto queen in the comments. Don't forget to give me a like. By the way, guys, thank you so much from the bottom and to the top of my heart of leaving a like on my videos. It's really been getting me in the algorithm, and I have no one to thank but you for that. But anyway, if this is the kind of content you like, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, taters.
Excuse me. Alrighty then, let's get back to it. Oh boy. Let's go. I have to heat up my house because now, before I walk out this door, I'm going to turn this heat up. One thing I do not do, I do not hop in that shower when it's cold, when it's blistering cold like that. I cannot handle that cold. Okay, that's too cold. That's a cold that I cannot handle. So as long as it warms up in here, that's all I need. I just needed to warm up in here, nice and good. Then I could take a good shower and sleep really, really well. It is 1 a.m. on the East Coast right now. Why do good people turn evil? Life does it. People waking up, reading books, paying attention to this world. And you say, you know what? Fuck this world and fuck everybody in it. Your experience with people who look a certain type of way, your analysis, your observation, all of these things will cause you to turn fucking wicked because the world is wicked. You know, when people be motherfucking following your motherfucking channel, they make that shit so goddamn obvious, don't they? Okay. See, it's shit like this. You know, people's conniving ways and manipulation and especially betrayal of your own family is a different kind of betrayal. All right? Reading books. Okay? Opening your mind, learning things. Taking yourself down this path of dark psychology. These things, you will not be the same. You will not be the same. Okay? You will never be the same in life, period. Once you become a mother, you know, once you begin to have relationships with people, once you begin to mingle with this world, once you go back and forth with people, once you get in fights with people physically and all this kind of shit, you'll never be the same. People turn evil because, you know, they use the term evil, right? But I find something very interesting about powerful people in this world. People who are powerful and know our power, we are not the bullies of the world, okay? We are the ones who don't want to show off our power because we know how destructive we can get. We know how unhinged we can get. We know how fucking crazy we can get. And we just don't like to get that way. There are people who fuck with us to the capacity that we be like, bruh, I'm gonna fucking kill you. That's how I fight. If I get physical with you, I'm gonna try to fucking kill you. Okay? That's how crazy it's gonna get. But let's go ahead and listen to what some more the book has to say. Not one of my favorites. I kind of got a little bored with it, but let's just see what the book gonna say.
Stories that illuminate the darkness. One of the most compelling aspects of human experience is our affinity for storytelling, which serves as a powerful tool for making abstract concepts more relatable and tangible. Stories have the ability to weave complex ideas into narratives that resonate with our emotions and experiences. To truly grasp the implications of incrementalism and the allure of the devil's effect, we must delve into the lives of those who have fallen victim to its tempting pull. Through insightful narratives, we can explore the journeys of individuals who began with good intentions but gradually succumbed to corruption. These stories may include whistleblowers who initially engaged in seemingly innocuous behavior that led them down a path of ethical compromise, or leaders who valued results over integrity, only to find themselves embroiled in scandal. By examining these cautionary tales, we not only come to understand the mechanics of incrementalism and the devil's effect, but also realize the importance of vigilance in maintaining our moral compass. Through these examples, we learn that the road to corruption often starts with just a single, harmless step. Awareness of this psychological trap can empower individuals to recognize their own vulnerability to small.
I recognized something today. I was like, there was someone at work literally having the same exact conversation with another woman at work that they had with me. And she said, well, how about yourself? How many children do you have? Are you married? She posed the same question back to him. And he began to say how many children he had. And I never knew that. Because when he had that conversation with me, I ain't give a damn. I didn't even engage with him to even ask him how many children that he had. So in that moment, I begin to realize that when I talk to people, I am very dismissive. I didn't realize that that's how I am. I am so dismissive, and I have no interest in talking about anything that doesn't involve what I really want to talk about. Crazy, right?
Compromises, inspiring preemptive actions to uphold their values and integrity. By illuminating the darkness with personal stories, we gain invaluable insights into the human psyche and the complex interplay between ethics and behavior, equipping ourselves with the knowledge to navigate the potential pitfalls of incrementalism. Dr. Elizabeth Wren, a case study in incremental descent. Dr. Elizabeth Wren's story serves as a chilling reminder of the precarious nature of integrity and how even the most principled individuals can gradually succumb to ethical dilemmas. As a highly skilled surgeon, Dr. Wren was known for her extraordinary talent and unwavering dedication to her patients. Her commitment to the medical profession and the well-being of those she treated was evident from day one of her career. Colleagues and patients alike regarded her as a beacon of hope, a consummate professional who prioritized their needs above all else. However, the landscape of her professional world began to shift when medical suppliers, recognizing her influence and expertise, began offering her small tokens of appreciation, innocuous gifts that initially seemed benign. This started with complimentary lunches, branded pens, and invitations to exclusive events. At first glance, these gestures appeared harmless, and Dr. Wren, overworked and under pressure, justified accepting them as a well-deserved reward for her long hours and the lives she was saving day in and day out. After all, she reasoned, contributing positively to the lives of her patients warranted a few perks, didn't it? As time passed, however, the nature of these gifts evolved. What began as minor tokens of appreciation escalated into substantial financial incentives, intricately tied to her promotion of specific medical products and devices. The allure of monetary rewards clouded her judgment, and her ethically sound principles began to erode. Dr. Wren found herself grappling with internal conflicts, her desire to maintain her professional integrity clashing with the temptations presented by these lucrative offers. As she adapted to this warped reality, her decisions grew increasingly self-serving and misaligned with the moral compass that had once directed her career. She began to prioritize her financial gain and personal prestige over the best interests of her patients. Clinical decisions that should have been made based on medical necessity were increasingly influenced by the promises of incentives. By the time her unethical practices were finally exposed, Dr. Wren was embroiled in a scandal that led to her medical license being revoked and her once stellar reputation being irreparably damaged. Ultimately, Dr. Wren's downfall was not merely the result of a single poor decision but a tragic tale woven from a series of small, seemingly inconsequential compromises. Each small concession chiseled away at her ethical foundation, paving the way for larger transgressions. The cumulative effect of these incremental descents showcases a critical lesson in morality, that the path to ethical decline often unfurls gradually, luring even the most principled individuals into a quagmire of poor choices that can culminate in personal and professional ruin. The corporate spiral, a culture of deceit, In the increasingly competitive corporate world, the insidious phenomenon known as the devil's effect often manifests itself as a pervasive systemic problem that engulfs organizations from within. Imagine a mid-level manager, burdened by the relentless pressure to deliver results and meet quarterly targets, who decides to falsify a few figures to achieve those ends. This seemingly minor act, which they rationalize as a temporary and necessary measure, unwittingly establishes a precedent that reverberates throughout the organization. What starts as one individual bending the rules soon escalates, a trickle turns into a flood. Before long, entire teams may find themselves complicit in this fabrication, driven by a collective ethos of doing whatever it takes to achieve superficial success. The catastrophic collapse of major corporations, such as Enron, stands as a stark reminder of the perils posed by incremental moral decay within an organization. Initial instances of fraud often seem small, isolated, and easily justifiable, yet they can snowball into monumental failures that not only jeopardize the financial stability of the organization but also inflict irreparable damage on countless lives and erode the foundation of trust built over years or even decades. Employees, stakeholders, and the public can find themselves grappling with the aftermath of choices made in the shadow of a corporate culture that prioritizes profit over ethics.
I'm the director of post-production and head of YouTube at Iconic Saga, Cam Newton's production company. Last month, both our channels did about 80.
The veil of self-deception. Perhaps one of the most disconcerting dimensions of the devil's effect is its insidious ability to hijack our essential sense of self. In an unsettling twist of perception, very few individuals see themselves as the architects of wrongdoing. Instead, many construct intricate narratives that cast their actions in a more favorable light, enabling them to reconcile their behavior with their self-image. For example, a thief may perceive themselves as being resourceful, skillfully navigating a world rife with inequality. A liar might justify their deceit as a necessary tool for survival in a cutthroat environment, where honesty feels like a liability. Similarly, a fraudster may convince themselves that they are merely ensuring their own survival, perhaps dismissing the broader implications of their actions. Though these self-serving narratives can provide temporary comfort, they are, in reality, deceptive illusions. They create a veil that obscures the truth, allowing individuals to continue their downward spiral without adequately confronting the stark reality of their decisions. This dynamic of self-deception is precisely what renders the devil's effect both powerful and challenging to resist. The more individuals engage in rationalizations to justify their unethical behavior, the harder it becomes to step back and critically evaluate the moral implications of their choices. Turning a blind eye to one's own transgressions fosters an environment where further deceit not only feels permissible but almost necessary. This culture of self-deceit can lead to an organization where integrity is compromised, and the lines between right and wrong blur, producing a corporate landscape fraught with peril for both individuals and the collective entity. Ultimately, understanding the dynamics of the corporate spiral and the pervasive influence of self-deception is crucial for fostering a healthier organizational culture. It underscores the importance of accountability, ethical leadership, and the cultivation of an environment where transparency and integrity are valued above all else. Only by dismantling the veil of self-deception can individuals within the corporate framework begin to stem the tide of moral decay and restore trust, not only in themselves but in the entire system. The path to resistance. To embark on the journey of resisting the insidious influence commonly referred to as the devil's effect, one must first confront and acknowledge its presence in our lives. This initial step is not merely an act of fortitude, it necessitates a profound humility. We must accept the uncomfortable truth that none of us are entirely immune to the alluring pull of temptation that seeks to sway our decisions and values. It demands that we cultivate a vigilant mindset, one that is unrelenting in its pursuit of truth and justice. We must be willing to critically examine and interrogate our own motivations, continually questioning our rationalizations and justifications for our choices. Take a moment to engage in self-reflection. Ask yourself some pivotal questions that can illuminate the depths of your conscience. What am I rationalizing? Consider those thoughts or behaviors that you find yourself justifying. Are they rooted in necessity, or do they stem from convenience or fear of confrontation? What are the potential long-term consequences of this action? Every decision carries weight. Reflect on how your choices today could shape not only your future but the futures of those around you. Are you prepared to face the repercussions of your actions down the line? Am I prioritizing short-term gain over long-term integrity? It is all too easy to chase fleeting rewards that promise immediate satisfaction. However, such pursuits often come at the expense of our core values and principles. Are you willing to sacrifice lasting integrity for temporary benefits? Resistance begins with this foundational awareness. It calls for a steadfast commitment to honesty, not merely in our dealings with others, but crucially, in our conversations with ourselves. By fostering this honesty, we create a space in which self-deceit cannot thrive. As we navigate the complexities of life, recognizing the subtle whispers of compromise becomes a vital skill. These whispers may manifest as internal dialogues that encourage us to overlook our values or to simplify our moral dilemmas. By becoming attuned to these nuances, we can build a stronger, more resilient resolve. This fortification of our moral boundaries is essential in a world that often tests our principles. Ultimately, the journey of resistance is not a solitary one. It invites us to engage with our communities, to share our struggles and triumphs. Moreover, it encourages us to support one another in our commitment to uphold integrity in the face of temptation. Together, through shared awareness and collective vigilance, we can navigate the murky waters of compromise and emerge steadfast in our convictions. The descent into the devil's effect does not occur in leaps and bounds. It unfolds through a series of whispers, nudges, and rationalizations. It is not a battle waged against an external force but an internal struggle, one that demands constant vigilance and self-reflection. The devil's effect is both a cautionary tale and a call to action. It reminds us that the line between light and darkness is finer than we imagine and that the greatest defense against corruption lies in the small, deliberate choices we make every day. The descent begins with a single step. The question is, will you recognize it in time to turn back? Chapter 2. The thin line between good and evil. The distinction between good and evil cannot be understood as a solid, impenetrable barrier. Rather, it manifests itself as a delicate and nearly invisible thread that bends, twists, and morphs under the substantial weight of context, perception, and circumstance. This boundary is not static. Instead, it is a dynamic, ever-shifting line that weaves through the intricate tapestry of our daily experiences, quietly yet profoundly influencing our decisions and challenging our fundamental understanding of morality. Contrary to the simplistic binary perspectives often depicted in traditional narratives that portray dichotomous heroes and villains, the realities of life illustrate that good and evil are not fixed, immovable classifications. Instead, they exist as fluid, interconnected states that can be transformed and reshaped by factors such as time, geographical location, and the intricate web of human emotions and relationships. This nuanced understanding invites us to reconsider the rigid labels that we often impose upon ourselves and others, and encourages a deeper exploration of the gray areas that exist between these two extremes. In this chapter, we will undertake a thorough examination of the tenuous and frequently nebulous line that separates good from evil, peeling back the layers to reveal the complexities and intricacies inherent in this discussion. We will analyze how even the most well-intentioned individuals, those who aim to do good, can unexpectedly find themselves traversing this ambiguous terrain, sometimes making choices that place them closer to the realm of evil than they could have ever anticipated. To illuminate this exploration, we will delve into a variety of real-world examples, psychological frameworks, and societal dynamics that illustrate the slippery nature of morality. By investigating these elements, we aim to unravel the reasons why establishing a clear definition of this boundary proves so elusive. More critically, we will consider the profound implications that this understanding holds for our actions, decisions, and interactions with others, underscoring the significance of context and perception in shaping our moral landscapes. Through this analysis, we hope to foster a more compassionate and nuanced view of human behavior, recognizing that the journey along the spectrum of good and evil is a shared human experience, rife with uncertainty and complexity. Morality in context, a relational perspective. Consider a scenario involving a parent who resorts to stealing food in order to nourish their starving child. At first glance, this action may evoke a range of interpretations. From one perspective, it can be hailed as a profound demonstration of love and self-sacrifice, where the parent's desperate measures are driven by a fierce instinct to care for their offspring and ensure their survival. This viewpoint would emphasize the emotional and relational aspects of morality that highlight the bonds individuals have with their loved ones and the lengths to which they are willing to go to protect them. Conversely, another viewpoint frames this same act as a clear transgression of established social norms and property rights. To the shopkeeper who bears the loss of goods and the impact on their livelihood, this theft may be perceived as an unjust and harmful violation of trust. It encapsulates a betrayal of the social contract that governs interactions within a community, wherein individuals agree to respect one another's property in exchange for stability and order. This perspective underscores how actions that may arise from necessity can still inflict harm on others, leading to a nuanced moral landscape rife with tension between empathy and accountability. This duality surrounding the act of theft speaks to a
Hey, high power wig. Before I step out, I was just about to go step out. Not off the show, but just go do something. Yes. Yeah. What book is that? The Science of Evil. This one is The Devil's Effect. How good people turn evil. The Science of Evil? Simon Barron, an award-winning site, offers a new brain-based theory of human cruelty, explaining the low levels of empathy. Okay, hold on. Let me go to Google. I hate keep taking me to Microsoft. What the fuck is that? It is an audiobook. 40 pages. Mm-hmm. On empathy and the origins of cruelty. So it sounds like close to this book, right? Yeah, it is.
Profound truth about the nature of morality. It is inherently dependent on the observer's perspective and the specific context in which an action takes place. The complexity of moral judgments reflects a rich tapestry of human experience wherein intentions, circumstances, and cultural values intertwine to shape how we perceive right and wrong. Throughout history, philosophers and theologians have engaged in spirited debates over the essence of good and evil, often framing these concepts in stark opposition to one another within a moral dichotomy. This binary thinking has led to rigid classifications of actions and individuals, categorizing them as either wholly virtuous or entirely malevolent. However, contemporary insights from modern psychology and sociology reveal that such notions are overly simplistic and fail to capture the intricate realities of moral reasoning. The truth is that actions rarely fall neatly into categories of being purely good or purely evil. Rather, they exist on a spectrum marked by shades of gray. Moral actions are deeply influenced by a myriad of factors, including the intent behind an action, the specific circumstances surrounding it, and the cultural framework within which individuals operate. For example, the parent stealing food may be motivated by love and desperation, while the shopkeeper's perspective may be shaped by their struggle to sustain a business and provide for their own family. These distinct, yet intertwined narratives compel us to shift our understanding of morality from a simplistic binary model to a relational perspective that acknowledges the multitude of human experiences and motivations. Recognizing this complexity is essential for fully grasping human behavior and the moral dilemmas we confront in our daily lives. It prompts us to engage in deeper reflection about our ethical choices and the potential consequences they may carry for others. Instead of hastily judging actions as right or wrong, we are called to consider the broader context that shapes those actions, appreciating the nuanced interplay of love, necessity, societal norms, and economic realities. In conclusion, embracing a relational perspective on morality invites us to cultivate empathy and understanding, urging us to move beyond mere categorization. It encourages us to see not just the act, but the story behind it, fostering a more compassionate and less judgmental approach to the moral complexities that define our shared human experience. Through this lens, we can engage more thoughtfully with the moral challenges that confront us, ultimately leading to more nuanced discussions and potential resolutions in our increasingly interconnected world. A Slow Descent into Darkness, the story of Anders Fogh. The poignant tale of Anders Fogh serves as a grim illustration of the gradual erosion of morality and the potential for virtuous individuals to descend into a chasm of moral ambiguity. Once a decorated soldier celebrated for his bravery and unwavering commitment to justice, Fogh embarked on his military journey driven by high ideals and noble intentions. He believed wholeheartedly in his mission to protect the innocent, defend the oppressed, and champion the cause of righteousness. This fervent dedication was the backbone of his early military career, as he aimed to act as a guardian against the horrors of war that so often engulf the world. However, the relentless brutality and overwhelming chaos inherent in warfare began to take a significant toll on Fogh's psyche. As he faced the grim realities of combat, his initial resolve started to falter under the weight of fear, anguish, and the constant threat to his own life and the lives of his comrades. Faced with relentless adversities, he found himself grappling with moral dilemmas that challenged his core beliefs. In moments of desperation, he began to rationalize small acts of violence. The justifications he employed often felt necessary at the time, such as telling himself, "This is necessary to protect my team," or "They would do the same to us." These seemingly innocuous thoughts formed a precarious foundation upon which he would build an increasingly dubious moral framework. As time progressed, these small compromises became increasingly frequent, and the boundaries he had meticulously set around his ethical standards began to erode. Each decision, each fleeting justification, began to blend into the next, creating a murky landscape where the distinction between right and wrong slowly faded. It soon became apparent that Fogh's transformation was not a singular, cataclysmic event, but rather a gradual process marked by a series of incremental choices. Each step away from his original values was deceptively minor, yet collectively they led him to a complete abandonment of the morals he once held dear. This metamorphosis serves to underscore an important and troubling reality: moral compromise often starts with seemingly insignificant decisions. These initial choices, if left unchecked, can spiral into actions and behaviors that once felt unthinkable for someone like Fogh, a person who once epitomized honor and valor. As he navigated deeper into this moral abyss, the repercussions of his actions grew in severity, culminating in acts of violence and brutality that contradicted everything he had once taken a stand against. The phenomenon often referred to as the slippery slope of morality illustrates the delicate balance we must maintain in our ethical convictions. It highlights the critical necessity of vigilance in safeguarding our moral frameworks against the insidious creep of justifications that can lead us astray. Further complicating this narrative is the uncomfortable realization of the human capacity for darkness and the often unseen influences that external circumstances can exert over our moral choices. Fogh's story forces us to confront challenging questions about our own moral integrity. How far could we fall under similar pressures? What safeguards do we have in place to prevent our descent into ethical ambiguity? Ultimately, the tragic journey of Anders Fogh serves as a sobering reminder of the fragility of morality and the profound implications that our decisions, no matter how small, can have on the trajectory of our lives and the lives of others. Psychology of the Permeable Line. Philip Zimbardo's infamous Stanford prison experiment offers profound insights into the malleability of morality and the complexities of human behavior. Conducted in 1971 at Stanford University, this landmark psychological study investigated the effects of perceived power and authority in a simulated prison setting. A group of college students was randomly assigned roles as either guards or prisoners, with the intention of observing their behavior over an extended period. However, the experiment quickly spiraled out of control. Within just a few days of the study's commencement, the participants designated as guards began exhibiting increasingly cruel and abusive behaviors toward their prisoner counterparts. This alarming transformation occurred despite the fact that these individuals were ordinary, well-adjusted college students prior to the experiment. They were selected based on their stable mental health and lack of criminal backgrounds. Yet, as the experiment progressed, it became painfully clear that the arbitrary assignment of roles was sufficient to elicit a shocking disregard for moral constraints. Zimbardo concluded that the line separating good and evil is permeable and easily crossed under the right or wrong conditions. His observations illuminated the powerful influence of situational factors and social dynamics on human conduct.
Want to get into software development, data analytics, or IT and security? Well, do yourself a favor and grab this course on Udemy. Just a beginner in Python? What you don't know, you can learn it here and be ready for your first big break. All right, grab the course now.
I've been on Shopify from the beginning. The platform is just never a worry. Like, I have so many worries, but the platform is never one. I feel like Shopify really thinks about how they can optimize. It just always feels very ahead of the curve. Everything is just super easy to connect and link. They really know what we need. Time and money that is saved, I can spend on other things and on growth. I'm Shirza, founder of Isla, and my advice for entrepreneurs is definitely to level up with Shopify.
The study demonstrated that external influences, such as authority figures, group pressures, and the inherent stressors of a prison environment, can overwhelm individual moral values and lead people to engage in morally reprehensible actions. This finding challenges the traditional notion that evil behavior arises solely from deep-seated character flaws or inherent tendencies. Instead, Zimbardo's research suggests that the capacity for both good and evil exists within all individuals and that it is often the circumstances surrounding them, such as the roles they are assigned and the environments they inhabit, that ultimately dictate their behavior. The implications of this conclusion extend far beyond a single psychological study. They resonate through many aspects of society, including criminal justice, military conduct, and even workplace dynamics. Moreover, Zimbardo's work raises essential questions about personal accountability and moral responsibility. If situational factors can so profoundly influence behavior, to what extent can individuals be held accountable for their actions under duress? This inquiry into human nature invites a deeper exploration of ethical frameworks and emphasizes the importance of fostering environments that promote empathy, respect, and moral integrity. In summary, the Stanford Prison Experiment serves as a critical reminder of the fragile nature of morality. It compels us to recognize that, under certain conditions, any individual could potentially succumb to the darker facets of human behavior. Consequently, it underscores the importance of vigilance in safeguarding against systems and structures that may inadvertently encourage cruelty and dehumanization. Understanding the psychology behind the permeable line between good and evil is not just an academic exercise, it is a vital endeavor that calls for introspection and proactive measures to create a more just and humane society. The social dynamics of morality. Human beings are inherently social creatures, meaning that our moral judgments and ethical beliefs are not developed in a vacuum. Instead, they are significantly shaped by the groups to which we belong. This deep intertwining of social relationships and morality highlights the complexity of human ethics, with individuals often finding their personal values influenced, sometimes even overridden, by the prevailing attitudes and behaviors around them. The psychological phenomenon of groupthink serves as a compelling illustration of this reality. It showcases how individuals, in their desire to conform to the expectations of a group or to avoid social conflict, can set aside or completely abandon their personal values in favor of the majority's perspective. When individuals find themselves in environments where unethical behavior is not only tolerated but normalized, the risk of moral erosion increases substantially. This is evident in contexts such as corrupt corporations, toxic social circles, or any community where a culture of malfeasance thrives. In such situations, even those with the best intentions may unwittingly become complicit in wrongdoing, as they gradually adopt the shared justifications of their peers. A particularly striking case that exemplifies this dynamic is the Enron scandal, which serves as a somber reminder of how quickly moral boundaries can blur within a corporate culture that prioritizes profits over principles. Employees at Enron, once aware of the company's ethical obligations, found themselves swept into a corporate ecosystem that rewarded deceit and manipulation. Over time, this environment fostered a troubling desensitization to unethical practices, leading to a widespread acceptance of behaviors that would have previously been considered unacceptable. One whistleblower from within the organization described the process as a series of seemingly inconsequential decisions, writing, "Each decision felt less wrong than the last, until suddenly, we were all complicit in a massive fraud."
Find a pet-friendly Italian restaurant with outdoor seating nearby and text it to Luca. Find it real quick. Send it to the click. The place is sick.
Babes, we're in our healthy hair era. And when I say drenched, I mean drenched.
This remark underscores the insidious nature of moral degradation within groups. Each small compromise led to a collective loss of ethical clarity, illustrating how social pressures can profoundly distort individual ethical compasses. What begins as a small concession to fit in or to comply with the group's norms can snowball into an overwhelming tide of collective wrongdoing, rendering individuals incapable of recognizing their own moral failings. This gradual erosion of morality through social dynamics reveals not only the power of group influence but also the responsibility that comes with belonging to a community. Recognizing the impact of social dynamics on moral behavior calls for a heightened awareness of the environments we inhabit and the groups we align ourselves with. It emphasizes the need to cultivate cultures that prioritize ethical integrity and to empower individuals to speak up against wrongdoing, thereby fostering an atmosphere where morality can flourish rather than falter. In sum, understanding the social dynamics of morality is crucial to promoting ethical behavior and ensuring that individuals do not lose their sense of right and wrong in the face of collective pressures. Moral dilemmas and ethical tensions. Philosophical thought experiments, such as the renowned trolley problem, serve to illuminate the intricate complexities inherent in moral decision-making processes. This particular dilemma poses a challenging scenario. One must decide whether to pull a lever to divert a runaway trolley onto a track where it will kill one person instead of allowing it to continue on its current path, which will result in the deaths of 5 individuals. This stark choice compels participants to confront the competing ethical frameworks of utilitarianism, which advocates for actions that maximize overall happiness and well-being, and deontological ethics, which emphasizes the importance of following moral rules or duties regardless of the consequences. In general, most people instinctively lean toward the utilitarian choice of saving the larger group of 5 lives. However, this pragmatic decision often leaves individuals in a state of moral unease, prompting them to reflect deeply on their values and the ramifications of their actions. They may grapple with profound philosophical questions, such as whether it is morally permissible to sacrifice one innocent life for the greater good of saving multiple others. This internal conflict can evoke a spectrum of emotions ranging from guilt and anxiety to relief, as they contemplate whether the ends justify the means. These thought experiments highlight the nuanced nature of morality, which is seldom clear-cut or purely binary. Instead, they reveal that ethical decision-making involves a dynamic interplay of logical reasoning, emotional responses, and the specific social contexts in which individuals find themselves. This complexity complicates the establishment of universally accepted moral principles, as individuals may reach different conclusions based on their personal beliefs, cultural backgrounds, and emotional responses to the scenarios presented. Moreover, these exercises draw attention to the considerable challenge of clearly delineating the boundaries between good and evil. The reality is that even well-intentioned decisions can lead to unforeseen consequences that may inadvertently harm others or create additional ethical dilemmas. For instance, while one may justify the act of diverting the trolley as a means to save more lives, the psychological burden of having caused the death of an innocent person can linger long after the decision has been made. This leads to further reflection on the potential long-term impacts of one's choices, as well as the societal implications of our moral frameworks. In conclusion, moral dilemmas like the trolley problem encapsulate the intricate and often troubling landscape of ethical decision-making. They serve not only as intellectual exercises but as reflections of our values, fears, and the often ambiguous lines that separate right from wrong.
Picture yourself in the Lululemon Glow Up Tight, made of an iconic new waistband, springy fabric, and minimal construction. Because the fewer the seams, the smoother the, everything.
Snap your W-2 and file your taxes 100% free. Plus, get your biggest refund. File free now. Roughly 37% of filers qualify. Simple Form 1040 returns only. Click for eligibility.
As we navigate our own moral landscapes, engaging with these complexities encourages us to expand our understanding of ethics and to recognize the profound weight that our decisions can carry in the lives of others. Rationalization, bridging the gap to ambiguity. Cognitive dissonance theory serves as a compelling psychological framework that elucidates the intricate ways in which individuals navigate the often murky waters of moral gray areas. When a person's actions starkly conflict with their personal values or ethical beliefs, they experience a state of psychological discomfort known as cognitive dissonance. This dissonance can manifest in various forms, causing internal turmoil that individuals find uncomfortable and even distressing. To alleviate this discomfort, people often engage in a process known as rationalization. Rationalization, at its core, is a defense mechanism. It involves concocting plausible but often misleading justifications for behaviors that contradict one's moral compass. For instance, take the scenario of a student who resorts to cheating on a test. Instead of confronting the gravity of their actions, the student might rationalize their behavior by thinking to themselves, "Everyone else is doing it," or "I didn't have time to study." These thoughts serve not only to soothe their conscience but also to diminish the perceived severity of their transgression. Such rationalizations function like mental bridges, allowing individuals to traverse the perilous chasm into morally ambiguous territory. When crossing this bridge, they do not fully confront the implications of their actions, nor do they adequately grapple with the ethical consequences of their behavior. Instead, they create a narrative that allows them to maintain a favorable self-image while simultaneously engaging in conduct that would typically invoke feelings of guilt or shame. Over time, this pattern of justification can become deeply ingrained, subtly eroding an individual's ethical foundation. As they continue to rationalize questionable actions, the threshold for what is acceptable behavior shifts. What once might have been regarded as an ethical violation can gradually be normalized. This slippery slope can lead to a troubling cycle, where engaging in increasingly dubious behavior becomes easier and more frequent. As individuals continue down this rationalization path, they may find themselves distancing their actions from their core values, ultimately compromising their integrity. The power of rationalization lies not only in its ability to ease immediate feelings of guilt or discomfort but also in its capacity to reshape one's moral landscape, making it a vital area of exploration for both psychological study and personal introspection. Understanding this process is crucial, as it highlights the importance of self-awareness and ethical vigilance in a world where moral ambiguity can easily tempt individuals to.
It's all about how you raised and what you come from. I've seen people who have very questionable characters. Not questionable, their character was what it was. And I've seen that all my life since a little girl. And I've seen in life the people who win, the people who get over, the people who make the money. I've seen in life how poverty is the root of all evil, not money. Money just brings out the root of people's evil. It brings it out, yes, but it's not the root of all evil. You understand? Money just shows what people are. It brings it, but it's not the root of it. The root is poverty. Because you can give a poor motherfucker millions of dollars and watch what they do with it. The person who comes from poverty, orphanage, thrown away, they have a deep revenge that is very unseen unless you pay attention and your eyes is open. These people will always have a deep revenge. I don't care how spiritual, how religious they get. something in them wants to bite back at the world for what had happened to them. Something in them feels as they have to make fair what was unfair to them. And they begin to see that this good girl, good guy behavior, they begin to see this kind demeanor, it don't work. Because the more mean I've become, the more honest I've been with myself, the more I've allowed myself to be angry or sad, the better life is for me. I go through my spats and I be like, was that mean? And my brother said, you gotta be nice sometime. I said, you know, the word nice means dumb. Look it up, it means dumb. I'm not nice, I could be kind. But I think that that is all coming out the window the older I get. I'm not just mean for no reason. It's just the way that I come off can be perceived to be something very mean that someone is. And I don't feel no way about it. People do a lot of subconscious shit out here to people. People are just doing shit and thinking that people not catching on. People saying shady shit and thinking people not catching on to their shit. And they get mad when they get ignored. Somebody throw headphones on. Somebody doesn't care. Somebody responds, responds to them and not react. They get mad. Some people, they don't even know what to do if you don't respond in a way that they expect you to respond. That's how programmed these NPCs are. Don't feel bad for studying dark psychology. Don't feel bad for knowing 40 manipulation tactics and using them. Don't feel bad about that. Because damn sure anybody doing it to you, they don't feel bad about it. Trust me, they don't even care what they're doing to you. They could care less what they're doing to you. They don't give a damn about your feelings. That's what you need to understand. I'm not in the business of turning anyone evil who listens to dark psychology with me. I'm not in the business of that. But I am in the business of people tapping into themselves, doing their shadow work, and elevating their life to the level of life that they want it to be. And furthermore, I will continue to dissect and analyze things in the way that I do by learning from the books that I read. This book I may have to read again because I can't get into it. I have to try to get away from the religious stuff in it. I can't really get into it, but I think I know where he may be going with this and why he may use the devil's effect, because we're talking about good and evil. We know the whole God and devil thing, hero and villain thing. We all know that archetype. And I like this example he had was using about the lady. Because we have books like 48 Laws of Power, Art of Seduction. We have CIAs that are coming out and telling you the manipulation tactics is thing they do to get to the people that they get to. We have, excuse me, microphone is back. Is it? We have people who are writing dark psychology. We don't know who these people are, but they're writing them. We have people writing books and just putting it out there on the YouTube world for you to read. But there are people still telling you these things. There are people still laming out 1,000 ways to use dark psychology on people. 1,000, y'all. How to be in your dark feminine energy and seduce and use. All of this shit. These are the things that are out there. So utilize them. Take advantage. Understand and notice when you see dark psychology. notice when you see dark manipulation. Trump is a very good dark manipulator. He's good at making things sound like the truth while telling the entire lie. He's very good at that. Pay attention to how he does it. Pay attention to how he's able to demolish people. He called Joy Reid a racist, and he wrote in all caps, we must, whatever he said about fake news. If he keeps putting it out there, it could happen. He is the president. But that's his dark psychology, and use it as a space of case study. Go back to the show where I did the dark psychology of Donald Trump. The artistry of manipulation. Go to Dark Psychology 101, Dark Psychology 202. Take it upon yourself to get more into NLP. Dark NLP. There's books out there. Take it upon yourself to get more into kamikaze mind control. Used to make people go bomb shit. Which I think is the same thing as when they use people to just do an execution of a whole crowd of people. I believe that's the kamikaze mind control. But the fact that there is a system of mind control amongst us, we should know about it. Hypnosis, not in the way that Get Out is saying it, but you must pay attention to it. People will try to hypnotize you through their voices and how they say things and how they word things and how they put their tone. Hypnosis. And all these basic little things that you can dig into a little bit more and look and detach yourself. How does this apply in my life? How did this apply in my life? Where does it apply in my life? Where are you using dark psychology in your life? What is it? With great power comes great responsibility. With great knowledge comes great responsibility. Something like that. It just comes with great responsibility. And you can use this information responsibly. Detach yourself and look at everybody. Look at what people are saying. Look how people are responding. Let me tell you something. I listened to that lady, the one who was laughing at the immigrants being deported by ICE, laughing and saying get them and shit. I listened to her. I listened to her talk. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. So I got a little bit glimpse into her and her personality. I got a glimpse into how messy she can be. You see? This is why I don't come on panels. Okay? Also, here's something else to look at. You want to spiritually protect yourself. Not just with the candle and oils and shit like that. You want to spiritually protect yourself. You want to be mentally strong as well as spiritually strong. But you want to really be mentally strong, intuitively strong. You don't want to walk around here and be so empathic that you're taking in everybody's energy. That's not how it works. You need to practice an energy of shutting it off and detaching yourself. And finding is, see, let's say, if you have that energy of somebody at work that doesn't like you, and you just, you can't really fuck with their energy, right? You just can't fuck with them, right? That's just an energetic signal for you maybe to not be around that person. Maybe not walk beside the person. Maybe avoid them and walk around somewhere. You see what I'm saying? Maybe it is a different energetic way that you need to deal with this person. That's what that means. If anything is more with the person, your intuition is going to tell you exactly what it is. Sometimes people can give off that energy because it ain't personal with you. Sometimes people give off that energy. You just happen to feel it because it's like it seems more directed at you, but it can just be something so small and minute. If it's something bigger, like I say, intuition will tell you. But you have to also focus on yourself. That's key. Don't feel no type of way if you don't tell nobody the truth about your life. Don't feel no type of way about that. It's nobody's business. I don't think we should talk personal at work, period. That's just me. Don't feel no type of way if you go into somebody's live and they're just trying to obliterate you and try to coerce you into coming onto their panels and you don't want to. Don't feel no type of way. Detach yourself and practice dark psychology. I do it all the time. I just be scrolling. I just be watching. Sometimes I look at the comment section. Sometimes I look at that person all the way through. I listen to what they talk about, what their background look like. I be into everything. How they go back and forth with people. Do they know how to talk to people who disagree with them? How do they respond? How do they panels run? Who's in the audience? I look at all that stuff. Not as competition of what I can do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. That's just me. But I more so look at taking what I've read into practice. Don't take what you read for granted. You take it how you want to take it. You take what you read for a grain of salt. That's on you. But I take what I read into practice. So with that said, there's a lot of things lined up still with dark psychology. I'm going to have to listen to the Devil's Effect on my own, thoroughly on my own, and decide how I can present this particular book, because sometimes this stuff I play while I'm live, you get what I'm saying, as opposed to playing before you guys hear. I don't play it first and then you guys hear it. Sometimes I do that, but a lot of times in this case something about this book I just could not get all the way into, but I want to still get into it to understand it because I feel like it's a great title and I think it's a great topic. And maybe this particular book is not it. Maybe someone else can get through to me a little bit more, but I think this is a good topic right here. So it's still Dark Psychology Week. I know you see the title here, but I'll probably more than likely fix that. It's the Dark Psychology Week. So I got plans for, what was the plans for this week? I'm trying to think. I wrote it down in the book. The 12th mask. The 12th mask of manipulation, right? So I thought it would be great to walk it into this particular book, and then we get into the newest book called The 12 Masks of Manipulation and how to manipulate anyone with these 12 different masks. And I thought that was interesting that they used 12 masks. I was like, I wonder why the number 12, right? Anyway, if you got something to say, go ahead. Tim, I'll give you some time to say it. You heard that yawn? It's time for my bed. It's time to get this charger. It's time to lay down. You know what I'm saying? And this is it. I'm going to look up the science of evil while I'm laying down as well. This may be the topic for the week. You know what I'm saying? We need to get a little bit deeper. What is evil? What does it really mean to be evil? How do you know you're in the presence of an evil person? You understand? How do you know if you're under evil influence? You know, are you evil? Do you have evil ways about yourself? What was the cause of causing these evil ways about yourself? What had happened in life to cause this way? You know, we can do that. I mean, we can rock this topic along with the 12 masks. So I'm gonna leave it there. We're gonna also look into why people who are Down syndrome, retarded, and all this stuff, and slow, tired, and delayed. Why are they so fucking evil? Why are they the most evil? Why do people who have certain body types and skin complexions can be very evil? So I think, yeah, we're gonna ride out with this evil topic, right? All right. So that's what I'm gonna do while I'm laying down. I'm gonna actually get back into the book. I'm going to start with just the introduction. Then I'm going to check out the 12 Mask book. Then I'm going to look up Science of Evil, what turns people evil, to see if somebody else, you know, good people aren't evil, see if anybody else is talking about it. You know, I'm going to do a little research and stuff before I fall asleep, because I don't never just fall asleep. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Yeah, man. Thanks for tuning in. Come on. I gotta go get this charger.